Summary of The Future of the Office. Work from Home, Remote Work, and the Hard Choices We All Face, by Peter Cappelli, written and narrated by Janky Mind. Introduction. The book The Future of the Office offers a comprehensive and insightful analysis of the traditional working office's present state and delves into recent changes and advancements that could shape its future. Drawing on extensive research, compelling anecdotes, and real-life case studies from businesses responding to the global pandemic, the book presents exciting opportunities to fundamentally transform our work environment and practices. Once upon a time, tech giant Google epitomized the ideal office setting, pioneering remarkable perks such as on-site meals, nap areas, and even the option to bring pets to work back in 2005. Google wanted not just employees but also a workforce that enjoyed being in the office. Fast forward to 2021. And the landscape has transformed significantly. Around 20% of Google's workforce is now permanently working from home, another 20% are based in decentralized offices, and the rest have adopted a hybrid model, working remotely for 2 days a week and enjoying the flexibility of working from anywhere globally for 4 weeks each year. The shift in Google's attitude shouldn't come as a surprise, considering the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has transformed various aspects of our lives, especially for white-collar office workers. While Google embraced a positive and open-minded approach to remote work even after restrictions eased, some other employers were less enthusiastic. Nevertheless, there is no denying that a profound shift is taking place in the nature of work. In this audiobook, we will delve into the core of this transformation and explore its implications for the future of the office. The world finds itself in a unique situation, and the decisions we make or fail to make will significantly influence the lives of countless employees and employers. Let's begin by examining precisely what unfolded during those tumultuous pandemic years. Chapter 1: Valuable Lessons from COVID-19. In April 2020, an ABC reporter presented the news from his home, a necessity due to COVID-19 restrictions. At the end of his segment, an amusing surprise unfolded. The camera revealed he wasn't wearing pants. While this could have been career-ending in the past, he laughed it off, and to a large extent, the world laughed with him. It was an early indicator that norms were shifting. By the pandemic's final months, numerous changes had been accepted as the new normal in the work landscape, extending beyond simply going pantless during Zoom calls. If we wish to preserve these positive changes, it is crucial to understand what transpired during the pandemic. Initially, many employers treated it like a passing storm, expecting a brief closure for just a couple of weeks. Businesses primarily focused on preparing financially for the temporary stoppage rather than devising ways to continue working. However, as the realization sank in that the situation might persist, companies took more drastic measures. Marriott International, for instance, announced that 2/3 of its corporate staff would be suspended with 20% pay until further notice. On the other hand, giants like Amazon and Walmart offered bonuses to encourage employees to stay despite the risks. The more discerning businesses recognized the evolving circumstances and swiftly moved to close offices and enable employees to work from home. Microsoft took the lead, announcing early on that it had no intentions of reopening offices until 2021. At the peak of the pandemic, around 35% of employees in the US were working remotely. Overall, the reception was positive. Workers reported increased satisfaction in various aspects of their work life. Even employers hailed the work-from-home experience as a success. Employees utilized the time saved from commuting to invest in more productive work. Trust from bosses led to a sense of responsibility among employees to maintain or even enhance productivity. Noteworthy trends surfaced, such as an increase in the number of meetings, but they were shorter and more efficient, facilitated by improved video conferencing capabilities. Some companies also noticed a rise in remote work during evenings, presumably after parents had put their children to bed. This newfound flexibility empowered people to work in ways that suited them best. So, what have we learned from the pandemic? Working from home is not only a viable option but can, in fact, be superior. However, its success largely depends on how it is implemented. As the pandemic's influence wanes, this style of work has evolved from being a necessity to an attractive option. Now is the time to consider what to expect when offered the opportunity to work from home. Chapter 2: Essential Inquiries about Remote Work. In a thought-provoking headline from the Washington Post, the notion that we can bid farewell to traditional office work was explored. The article discussed how advancements in information technology now enable individuals to work from any location of their choosing. Surprisingly, this article was published as far back as 1969, revealing that the idea of remote work is not a novel concept. The concept of telecommuting emerged during the Los Angeles smog crisis in the 1970s, and the challenges and insights surrounding remote work have remained relatively unchanged since then. With the possibility of remote work becoming a permanent fixture, how should you approach this prospect? There are several critical questions to consider. Firstly, ponder who is still working from the office. Research has shown that individuals working from home might encounter delays in receiving important information, experience diminished relationships with their colleagues, and potentially miss out on advancement opportunities due to reduced visibility to management. While this might be less problematic when everyone is working remotely, if only a few employees do so, they could feel disconnected from the core workforce. Another significant question revolves around the type of work that can be done remotely. Tasks suited best for remote work are often those of individual contributors who do not require frequent collaboration with others. However, such work might also be outsourced to external contractors, raising concerns about job security. When remote teamwork becomes necessary, additional challenges arise. Communication might become an issue, as office workers may be slow to respond to their remote colleagues or misunderstand silence. Fairness concerns may arise as supervisors might hesitate to assign last-minute tasks to remote workers, fearing intrusion into their personal lives. Lastly, remote workers must contemplate the nature of their supervisory authority. Interestingly, less experienced supervisors might be more adept at managing remote employees, as newer bosses are known for micromanaging, a habit that is harder to maintain in a remote setting. On the other hand, complex tasks might necessitate an experienced supervisor with the requisite knowledge and connections. If you find yourself in a position to work remotely, it is worth examining how your employer handled the transition during the pandemic. If the company heavily invested in software to monitor computer usage and enforce constant desk presence, it might indicate a lack of trust, potentially undermining the benefits of remote work. Conversely, if the focus was on clearly communicating performance expectations and monitoring them effectively, it suggests a healthier attitude towards remote work. These considerations are crucial as remote work becomes increasingly commonplace. In the next section, we will delve into the two primary models that remote work is likely to adopt. Chapter 3: The two hybrid models of remote work. In the past, Facebook used to incentivize employees to work near the office through bonuses. However, this approach has evolved, with companies now sourcing workers from increasingly distant locations. This shift carries intriguing implications. With the ability to recruit talent beyond national borders, companies find their hiring options significantly expanded. Simultaneously, it grants employees greater opportunities to explore different job prospects. The outcome of this transformation largely hinges on the type of hybrid remote work model adopted. Currently, two main models have emerged, each with its own set of advantages and drawbacks. The first is the two-tier system, a simpler and more predictable route. It involves creating two distinct classes of workers, those working on-site at the office and those operating from home. Remote workers fall somewhere between regular employees and contractors, with slightly limited access to managers, internal knowledge, and advancement opportunities compared to their office-based counterparts. While this approach might necessitate a bit more supervision for remote workers, it significantly benefits employers by reducing costs associated with office space, parking, and other necessities. The second hybrid option is the choose-your-own model, where employees have the freedom to decide when and for how long they work from home. Understandably, this model is favored by most employees as it offers unparalleled flexibility while maintaining valuable ties to the office environment. However, administratively, this option can be more intricate. It existed in a relatively informal capacity before the pandemic, at the discretion of bosses. Once it becomes more widespread and formally adopted, complexities arise. Criteria and restrictions will need to be defined in company policies to ensure fairness and prevent discrimination based on factors like race, gender, or religion. Scheduling also becomes a concern. If everyone wants to work from the office on certain days, like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and from home around the weekends, offices may become overcrowded during peak times and empty on other days. There are potential solutions to these challenges, such as introducing mandatory office days or using preference-based algorithms. Another common approach is flex time, where schedules are negotiated among individual teams. Ultimately, the choice between the two methods will involve weighing the employer's priorities against the employee's preferences. Regardless of the chosen model, thorough planning is essential to ensure a smooth transition. If not handled with care, there is a risk of missing out on a significant opportunity. In the final section, we will explore what managers need to consider to ensure the success of this evolving work arrangement. Chapter 4: A Golden Opportunity Not to be Missed. It's only fitting that one of the most ingenious and forward-thinking corporate responses to the COVID-19 pandemic came from Clorox, a company whose products were inseparably linked to the crisis. As demand surged for their essential disinfectant products in those initial months, Clorox recognized the future potential of remote work and took decisive action. They wisely adapted their Oakland headquarters renovation plans to align with the remote work model. Key adjustments included eliminating private offices and creating collaborative workspaces to better engage with remote workers. By organizing a core group of on-site employees around the needs of remote workers, Clorox aimed to prioritize all employees and drive the best outcomes for the company. This presented a chance available to many employers, the opportunity to rethink and reshape how they operate. Shedding old habits is often a challenge in organizational development, and the pandemic provided a perfect testing ground for one of the oldest habits in the corporate world, the conventional office setup. As Winston Churchill once remarked, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." To seize this opportunity effectively, several aspects must be considered. Firstly, adapting the organizational culture is paramount. Learning the rules and conventions of a company becomes more challenging when interactions are limited. Hence, companies must identify potential risks to their culture and implement robust hiring and training programs that clearly instill company values and norms. Prioritizing cultural fit in recruitment will be of utmost importance. The approach to performance appraisals needs to evolve as well. Depending solely on personal interactions and a supervisor's observations of an employee's work may no longer be practical. More frequent check-ins with remote workers or the implementation of a formal appraisal system based on performance outcomes might become necessary. Shifts in wage norms may also occur. With employees dispersed, it becomes harder for them to gauge their colleagues' contributions, making it more challenging to raise concerns about pay disparities or bonuses. Without proper laws and enforcement, we might witness a wider range of pay for similar roles. Career advancement opportunities for remote workers demand special attention. It is undeniable that remote workers might miss out on many informal development and promotion prospects. One potential solution is to transparently communicate from the outset that remote workers may have limited eligibility for such opportunities. Ultimately, companies that navigated the pandemic successfully were those with effective management policies in place. This principle holds true as we move forward from this unprecedented era. The present situation presents a golden opportunity for companies to embrace change, refine their strategies, and shape a future of work that benefits both employees and organizations alike. Summary: the current juncture is pivotal in determining the destiny of the traditional office. The COVID-19 pandemic stands as one of the most momentous and all-encompassing events in recent history, presenting us with an exceptional opportunity to bring about a positive and enduring transformation in the realm of white-collar work. Nonetheless, success is not a given. Establishing effective and efficient remote work systems demands dedicated and proactive management. Streamlining onboarding practices becomes essential to ensure that employees align well with the company culture and can be entrusted to remain engaged without constant monitoring. Supervisors and managers must invest additional effort in staying connected with their workforce and adopt performance-based appraisal methods to keep everyone on track towards their goals. As more individuals return to work, we encounter a new normal. Businesses face the choice of either bringing everyone back to the physical office or embracing one of the hybrid models available. The decisions made in this transitional phase will undoubtedly set the precedent for the modern office's appearance and functioning. So, the question stands: are you prepared for the future? This audiobook summary was brought to you by Janky Mind. We hope you enjoyed it.